was a lot of different teachers that, inspired me to become a teacher. I just admired these people that I would see on a daily basis. They'd come to work, and it was a stranger, but yet these people showed me how much they cared about me. So I'd go home and I would pretend to be a teacher, and I would write on the windows with my crayons. And it was very difficult to take off at the end of the lesson with my brother, but still, it was just me wanting to be a teacher. My constant inspiration is definitely my daughter. I became a parent and I looked at my daughter and I realized that, teaching is very important. And that's when my mind was set that, you know what, I want to be a teacher. I think about my daughter every single day as going to school, how I want her to be treated and how I want teachers to affect her life, and I want them to affect her in a positive way, and I feel like I can do that for other students as well.
Very good. High five. Let's give her a Hallelujah cheer. Ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Awesome. Okay, take your rainbow down.
The students that I meet every single year, just amazing to see. From them not knowing certain things to learning how to think, learning how to read. Some of them are strugglers, and when they learn certain things, they learn concepts, it's just amazing. We're a family in the classroom, and we must stick together. And you can see their whole attitude change for the positive when you believe in them and they know that you don't give up on them.
Wow. Good job.
You have to respect the students, and you have to know you influence them. And so you have to be the role model. When I started college, I was majoring in business, and there was a home for boys that got kicked out of school. And I would go at night, a couple nights a week, to talk to them, help them with their studies. And I thought I was such a need. All these kids need someone to care about them, and so I changed my major. Then it says, here's 11 and 3/4. Teachers need to realize that you influence children. It's what you do that they always mimic me. I was a mini-me. My kids run around the classroom and they think, oh my goodness, I just did that. I better watch, make sure I do what's right, because I do have the passion for it. Yes, ma'am. Okay, work through 4, but then we're going to do 5 together. They're not sure you really care about them. They have sometimes a chip on their shoulder, like, well, you don't really care, man. Like you're doing this for a job. But when you really show them that you do care and you follow through with it, that's the biggie. Kids want you to care, but you have to really care and show it to make a difference. Kids can see right through you. If you make it fun and you have fun doing it, they can sense it. They want to learn, they get excited with you, and when they finally you see it click, they understand what's going on, they look at you like, oh, the light comes on, and then their faces light up, their eyes sparkle, and that makes all the difference in the world. It's fun because they appreciate it and want the best for the students. I tell them high school is just the first graduation they're going to have. It's not for today or tomorrow. It's when you leave here, I want you to be successful. And they know I do.
The person that inspired me to teach the most was my middle school PE teacher. He was also my soccer coach, and I liked the fact that he was there for us every day, rain or shine. Whether he was sick or he wasn't sick, he was always there for us and he was ready to work. I think that my students will say that I was always enthusiastic, I always had energy, and I was ready to work for them at any time. The thing that keeps me going to continue teaching are the kids. Coming in here every day, whether it's a good day or a bad day, these kids will always put a smile on my face. If I'm having a bad day, I'll end up laughing by the end of the day because these little kids will make you laugh. Bring your spirits back up. That's one of the good things about teaching. And I'm just ready to teach them on a daily basis.
Honor your partner. Honor your partner.
Every grade level requires different equipment or a different set of teaks. Come up with the equipment, set up the equipment, and we work minute to minute here. If there's any circumstance when any of the students are either sick or they fall and they get injured or they're hurt, I am so attached to almost all the students that it hurts me too, as if I were their parent.
That's all.
To be a teacher is fantastic because you know that you're going to be able to change somebody's life, and it's important to touch their hearts. We had band starting in the 5th grade, and I remember the whole classroom was full of clarinet players, but my mother wanted me to play the French horn. I tried, and I tried, and I tried. For one whole year I tried, but I did not know how to play that French horn. I had a substitute teacher named Mr. Haney, and Mr. Haney came in and all the kids were all around him. He was the language arts teacher, and he was having fun playing the trumpet, and he was having fun playing the flute and then the saxophone, and could you just please play these 2 lines for me on the French horn? And he said, sure. He picked up that French horn and he played the most beautiful sound I had ever heard. I didn't know it was supposed to sound like that, and at that moment everything just ignited. I thought, this is it. This is what I want to do.
Blue, ready? Here we go. Ready?
I wanted to teach. So if it weren't for Mr. Haney, I don't know where I would be right now. It was just magical. And all of the students that I have taught, I tried to pay it back the same way that Mr. Haney did. So in my teaching, I've tried to influence children to set their goals and make them achievable and just go for it. You can reach them. It doesn't matter who they are. And it's really wonderful to see that light go off, just like Mr. Haney did for me. Just ding, I get it.
Smart, you're fantastic, fabulous, and I love you all.
I've always wanted to be a teacher. Always, always, always. I can't ever think of a time that I didn't want to teach. When I was little, I would play school and I'd make my older sister sit and learn while I was the teacher. I've had the educators growing up that they just gave me more motivation. I'm first-generation graduate.
You like Friday? Hey, I give you homework on Fridays. I give you homework.
My 25 smiling faces that I see every single day, they know that I'm in it with my heart. They're all able to learn no matter the circumstances. We need to take the time and find out, okay, is my teaching effective? You know, maybe the student learns a different way. You know, here I am giving them a worksheet, or maybe he needs hands-on. I get really involved with them. I get on a personal level as far as, you know, I attend, you know, their sporting events to show them that I'm their teacher and I'm their friend, so that way they have somebody to depend on. I think it makes them feel like they're bigger than everybody else because, hey, that's my teacher over there. You know, she's showing up to watch me play.
I like Miss Edna because she's special to me.
If I can give them that feeling that this is like home to them, then I just feel like I'm doing something for them, something positive.
When I have that connectedness with them, the discipline just kind of takes care of itself. One day they are going to fulfill their purpose in life. And every day they come to class and they're just ready to learn or reluctant to learn, and I'm just trying to find different ways to get them to want to learn. And I think that their attitudes, whether it's a positive attitude or a negative attitude, I mean, I just find ways to meet them in the middle, and from there we learn together. They teach me so much. I know that I'm their teacher, but I just learn so much from them as well. My grandma, who worked for the San Benito School District for more than 20 years. Ever since I could remember, I would play teacher in her classroom. I just saw her passion for teaching. I saw that she really, truly cared for students and their well-being, their futures, and she really just wanted the best for them. I refer to my students as my kids. I'm very territorial when it comes to them too. I just want to protect them, but I also know that I have to prepare them, you know, for the real world, and I have to just equip them with that resiliency that no matter what happens to you, you can still persevere despite, you know, your situation or your challenge.
I have an opportunity to teach at-risk juvenile students, and the key word here is the at-risk part. You know, they're away from a normal school setting, and they're with me here from a time either 90 days or 180 days while they're here with me. And my inspiration is that when they leave from here, that they take a hands-on skill opportunity they were able to get here with me. I guess the biggest challenge that I would see here with them is number one, understanding them. They have difficult environments that they come from, difficult homes. They're not your normal students that are in high schools or in your educational schools. All my students will leave a lasting memory in me. They're all great students. But there's particular one student that I had come through here, through this environment, through this system, not once but twice. You know, I remember that I put a lot of effort into this young man, and I shared with him a lot, and he made a big difference. The time we spend with them, you know, sometimes you become a father figure to them, and you want the best for them. You want the best for them, and somehow they bring out the best in you, and you're able to learn from them and have better coping skills and understanding, you know, that as a father, as a husband, you got to be better, because there's people out there that need our help.
Every day I come to school with optimism that everything's going to be okay, and I just love teaching.
Quiero que pienses, no hables, nada más piensa. Ahorita te voy a dejar a que hables.
They're so little in first grade, and they're already being responsible of their own family. Like I've seen them in the stores or in restaurants selling cupcakes, apples, and I get to know their parents, and you know, they just worry about how they're gonna survive for the next day. They reminded me of myself when I was little. I would sell candies or bracelets, things like that, to help my family buy clothes for us for school. My parents were the first ones who inspired me, because they saw in me something that I didn't see back then. I would pretend to be Wonder Woman, and I said, well, something close to Wonder Woman that, you know, helps, isn't a hero, and you know, helps people. Well, what else? A teacher.
¿Cómo sabes que tiene hambre?
Every year, the students, they have different needs. We're always constantly thinking about these children that are not physically ours, and sometimes I have to keep on going for them because they need somebody. And if it's not their parents, we have to be there for them. So when they're in my classroom, I say, we're family here. And if we say it wrong, that's why I'm here, to teach you how to write it, how to speak it. Every day you go an extra mile.
Ever since I remember, I have always wanted to become an educator. So now that I'm able to fulfill my dream of being an educator, I mean, coming to work and knowing that I have a classroom full of students waiting for me to teach them is what I look forward to every day. And sometimes I feel like giving me my love to the students, they would feel more open to me on any situation that they may have, or we connect better with each other. Every year we have new faces, new children, new goals, new accomplishments I want to strive for. So I would say my own students is what strives me every day to keep doing what I'm doing. Well, actually, it's every year when I see my kids, the strugglers, the ones that are always having difficulty on anything, when they have their aha moment, or when they have like, oh, I was able to make it, when they realize that learning can be fun, that they can actually learn throughout the whole process, whatever we're doing. Whenever I see them understanding a concept or a goal that I've reached, that's when I say, this is why I belong here. Or whenever I do any type of activity and they're all enjoying it, that's when I say, oh, I love to do this, and I even get excited. Or sometimes I just stand and I just stare at them working and talking and laughing and coming up with their ideas, and it's like, this is what I like to do, and that's why I'm here.
Every child, every day, I want to see them in my classroom participating and growing. That as teachers we get to explore yesterday, we get to experience today and predict tomorrow's outcomes. I think those are the things that drive me. I like to see where we've been and where we're going. Those are the challenges every day that I think just keep me going and give me that drive to want to perfect and do better. We have those that are very bright and gifted, and we have opportunities to lift them up and make them achieve and succeed even more. But we have that student that really takes the extra practice, the extra hands-on activities, the extra worksheet. They need to see it again. And myself, my colleagues included, we're always available for that. I feel like the best thing I can give a child every day is my classroom environment. And I feel that that's where they need to be, that that's where we get our goals accomplished, our objectives are met. And every child, every day, I want to see them in my classroom participating and growing. Mrs. Steve, my 5th grade teacher, she inspired me to teach. I admired the way she was meticulously dressed every day. Her skirt matched her top, and her top matched her purse, and her belt went with her shoes. And as a child, that was someone that I wanted to be. I wanted to be that put-together person. Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is your best. And they will know that that's what I expected from them from the day they walked in my room until they left. And I expect it through life. I live what I teach.
I like my students to feel that they are comfortable, they are respected, and that they can succeed in my class. And for me, that means being consistent with every single one of them. And I try really hard to develop a system of fairness. And so it's I really have to be on my toes with them, showing them that I respect you and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that you're in a conducive learning environment where you can succeed.
And you forget on which way you go, guys, just look up at your clock.
And that's why I always wanted to stress with them that in B108, it was always bigger than just solving a problem, even if it took 3 steps. It's about learning just to think critically, no matter how challenging it may be. Last year, and specifically this year, I was we work with these kids so much where it's we're here every day after school, beyond hours, just trying to get these kids on a on grade level and even being able just to understand math. And even last year, I was fortunate to be with a good group of teachers where we were here Monday through Sunday, doing whatever we can to help out these students. And that required us to really look at our data, that type of work ethic that I was to be able to part of was really, really like worth it. Not specifically for just one student, but for all of them, and giving them the type of education that they truly deserve.
My father got cancer, and his dying wish was that I become a teacher. Left-handed or right-handed? Luckily, I was able to bring that to reality way prior to his death. He got to see me do it for a couple of years. And even though I was lost and confused and pretty miserable, the first couple of years teaching is rough on anybody, but the children absolutely keep me going. One day I woke up and something that I thought I hated, I woke up and I'm like, wow, I really want to go to work. And I thought, okay, I'm sick. But I fell in love with it, and it's the children that keep me going, seeing those minds have those aha moments. That's what keeps me going. I'm a Texas master naturalist, and I'm a coastal naturalist through the Texas Parks and Wildlife. So I love animals and plants and birds and all that stuff, and the kids just get a hoot out of it. Every year, Sullivan Elementary gives a $500 scholarship to a graduating senior that went to school here at Sullivan. Well, actually, 2 of those, because we have 3 applications that we take. 2 of those are going into science. And so that makes me feel good.
I always tell my students, you are not just my students, you are my children. My students keep me going. I'm not a morning person, but once I get here, it's like, it passes. I love to see my students learn. I love to see them, I mean, just hearing them think, you know, when they're having those discussions and, you know, having those aha moments, like, oh, I remember Miss at this, you know, just seeing my students and knowing that they're learning, that's what keeps me going, that I'm making a difference in them because they're moving up and they're just getting better. I always push my students to do better. I never say, well, you know, you're at this level, let's just keep you there. I challenge them, I push them, I want them to go further. And one of the things that you can ask one of my students is I'm always telling them, if you don't care about your education, who's going to care?
All right, awesome.
And I always tell them, when you graduate from high school, make sure you invite me because I want to be there. So I think that they'll remember me as a teacher that cared because I constantly push them to do better for themselves.
He couldn't find a toy and he was beginning to feel, and he wanted to go home.
I always tell my students, you are not just my students, you are my children. I'm going to push you like I would push my son. I'm going to push you the way I would push my daughter. You all are going to do more than you think you're going to do. I love to see that growth, and I love to see that they come back and they're like, look, miss, I got this on my reading test, and it's because remember how you taught me how to think like this? And they're the ones that keep me going. You know, just seeing them grow. They're the ones that keep me inspired, and just being able that I challenge them and they're up for the challenge. They're the ones who inspire me to keep going.
Who inspired me? That has to be my mom. She has always instilled in me, you need to finish what you start. You need to conquer your goals. Not going to school was not an option. She would always say, people will always talk. You need to listen to your heart, you need to do what you love. And for me that was easy, that was, you know, PE, you know, sports. She has always planted that seed of education. You need to go to school. You need to do what you love, especially that. You need to do what you love. So she inspired me. I've been here 11 years, so they're already coming back, and it's nice to hear that, you know, just them coming back to thank me, that I've touched their lives, you know. And what I love about that is that they come back to talk for advice on non-school related, you know, problems. I feel I did more than just teach a content or teaching just physical ed or health. I was able to connect with them and open that trust. I guess I inspired them in a way that they feel comfortable talking to me about, you know, just real life situations. I have my 5th graders, and they've been here since pre-K. You know, we've created that bond, that not just coach-student, you know, relations, just, you know, a bigger bond.
My students keep me going. Every day that I am in the classroom with them, that keeps me going. My former students who come and visit and tell me all of their accomplishments and how they're ranked and what schools they'll be going to. And then these young ones that I get, you know, that they're just starting out, they inspire me to continue. I hope that they will say that I inspired them to love reading, that I was a good teacher, that I was fair. By looking at me, I hope that they can achieve their dreams.
The rehearsal is compared to the actual play as far as the character.
Former kids come back and tell me all that they've accomplished and their goals, and it makes all the overwork well worth it in the end when they come back with their stories. So, I mean, every day it's a challenge, but it's exciting to hear that they're going to do something with their lives, and to be a small part of it, to have played a little bit of a role in that. That to me is inspiring for myself, just knowing that I've done a little bit for them to achieve their goals. I think it's important for a teacher to give that child the time that they need, not just to educate and push academics, but I mean, we're human beings and we like to have that emotional connection with the kids.
If you have this one person say something positive instead of always being negative, I think that makes a difference in someone's life. Make a difference in someone's life is always challenging, and always to find that niche to have them keep on going and not to quit. A lot of them come from broken homes and don't have that family support that they need, and you can see how it affects them daily. I think it's an easier part when you approach them with a smile than in a serious face like this. You know, and then it kind of like make them know that you're there for them and make them more relaxed, that you are there to help. And then to have a positive attitude, I think it reflects on the students, and then they feel your energy. If I don't want my kids to be treated like that, well, I'm not going to treat the student like that, because I see them just like I would see my child.
Okay, a triangle, and then it's a square.
Children to see that you can make a difference. Like, there is a reason for us to be here on this earth, to make a difference in someone's life. At VMA, we're a big family, and everyone takes care of one another. And I wouldn't be here without my VMA family. With all the teachers and the support that I received were awesome, from the whole staff included.
Aside from teaching social studies, I teach ESL, and I've always told my students that I'm an English learner just like them. English is my second language. I do feel very attached to them, especially the students who were recent immigrants at that time and did not know a word in English, and now I see them read, I see them comprehend, I see them understanding what we're teaching, and that to me is awesome.
Why do you think the call for troops caused more states to succeed? Sentence starter.
Some of the challenges that I've noticed is that sometimes they're very resistant to speak the second language, to speak their English, because they're afraid or they're too shy that it's going to sound out funny. And I tell them, don't be. I'm an example of that. Sometimes my tongue gets twisted and the words come out differently, but I don't stop myself from trying. And I do tell them, I feel that I need to practice my English more because I need to be more fluent. And you also need to practice it so that you can also help me. So we're here to help each other, not to put each other down, but to help each other. I was like them. And I tell them, hey, if you don't have a dad, maybe you are living with your grandma, your aunt, or a single parent, don't feel bad. You're not the only one. I was one of them. If I became someone in life, so can you.
We're going to finish up with a nice lab because it's a Friday.
It's all about my students. My kids were great and they just made me really want to stick around and be there for them. They kind of took the place of my family. I didn't have my mom and dad anymore, but now I had 100 kids that I could look after and kind of help them grow. So I always did whatever was possible to be there for them. I like to go to their sports, I like to go to their plays, their concerts. If they're doing a fundraiser, I'll try and support them in whatever way I can. But they're the thing that kept me here. They keep me going even when I'm having a bad day. The toughest part is reaching through and breaking down the barriers that they've put up because that's what they believe.
I like it just because it's a lot of fun, but...
Starting over each day with a fresh slate and letting the kids know that even if you misbehaved yesterday, even if you caused problems, today's a new day, we're gonna start over. It's a great award, I'm really proud of it, but it's nothing compared to the appreciation that just comes from the students on a daily basis.
These seniors are gone forever. These juniors are going to be here for 2 more days.
It's great to have them come back and have them really let you know what just knowing you, being in your class, meant for them.